What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now PS Edition. I am Alex. In this video, I want to talk about Outlast Trials. So this is a new Outlast game. This was requested from someone in the community named Hulk Smash. I know he's watched quite a few videos in the past. I said I would make this video on the second channel, and I'm definitely up for making any kinds of videos you guys want me to make, whether you leave suggestions on Podcast Now or whether you leave suggestions here. I'd love to make some videos, specifically ones that you guys are asking for. But this is an interesting one for sure, because I had also heard about this, but I had never really jumped all that far in. I played actually both Outlasts. The second Outlast scared me to death, but I managed to get through both of them. And I just had assumed that Outlast 3 was going to happen. I guess I missed where they said technically they were eventually going to make it, not necessarily that they were making it next. And it turns out back in December 4th of 2019, they announced a brand new game, a multiplayer game called Outlast Trials. The Outlast series is going multiplayer. The next title in the spooky game franchise, titled The Outlast Trials, where we'll explore Outlast's survival horror universe with friends, featuring cooperative play for up to 4 players. And also, the developer said that you can play single player. This could be played as an entirely single player game if that's the kind of thing you want to do. They said it's not Outlast 3. It's not a direct sequel to Outlast 1 and 2. They will eventually make Outlast 3, but it's not. This isn't it. It's just set in the middle of the Cold War era. Players will apparently take on the role of test subjects taking part in an unknown experiment. And they go off to say it's in early stages of production, according to an official announcement, with more details promised soon. Now this is exciting. It's also kind of worrying, to be quite honest with you. So let's talk about this and also talk about when we should expect to see more about it, because it's been a little while. I mean, now we're into early April, so it's been 4 full months since this announcement happened. That is a reasonable amount of time, and I would have expected maybe something like this to have come about around E3 time. Now, E3 is obviously canceled, although there will be like an IGN game showcase. Jeff Keighley is going to be doing something online too, where he's going to bring a bunch of developers together. So it's not like there's not going to be room to announce brand new games. That can totally happen, and actually it's going to happen. Outlast 2 came out April 24th, 2017. Now, I don't know if maybe they would signify April 24th would maybe signify an important day. Maybe they would talk about it more on that day. Different developers, different publishers pick different times. They honor/respect release dates or historical dates in their franchises all differently, right? However, we are approaching the 3-year time period that Outlast 2 had come out. So to be quite honest with you, I expect this game to almost be a fall game. Now, a lot of things could have changed, especially with what's going on around the world right now. I don't say it, if you guys are new to the channel, I don't say the thing that's going on just because of YouTube policies and stuff. But I would have expected it to be in the fall. Now, with all that stuff going on, maybe it gets delayed a little bit, but I think 3.5 to 4 years is plenty enough time to release a game like this. You have to imagine they had been working on this ever since the end of Outlast 2, and so that's that part, okay? So I really do think we would hear something about it over the next 2, 3, 4 months. I truly do, because I do think the game probably was designed to release this fall. Now, maybe it doesn't, and I say this fall, I know that Outlast 2 obviously didn't come out in the fall Halloween-y time. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense. However, maybe they want to stick to the April time period that Outlast 2 worked really, really well in, by the way. So maybe it comes out, maybe it was always designed to come out next year. So 4 years, that's totally cool. Now, what do I specifically think about the game? Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know it was I saw that it was going to be called this. I do remember this being announced, but I don't think I looked into it in the slightest. I didn't know it was going to be multiplayer. Now, I don't absolutely love that. I love my games single player. I primarily play single player games. Is there times where I play multiplayer games? Absolutely. Do I have go-to multiplayer games? Yes. Are there games that I do appreciate when you throw in these kind of things where it's like, well, you don't have to play a multiplayer, but it'll enrich or it'll enhance, whatever you want to use, whatever E-word you want to use, your experience. I think there's some games that do it really, really well, and then I also think that there's games that just don't need it that put it in, and that's what I'm hoping that this game doesn't do. The first 2 Outlast games are, again, absolutely amazing games. I truly do believe that. I think they're insanely, insanely scary. I think they're very smart. I think they tell a really good story, both in 2 different ways. I actually prefer Outlast 2. I don't know how many people would necessarily agree with that. But I actually really, really love Outlast 2. I think that is the better of the two games. But still, single player. Now, again, you can play this single player. Now, what I do like about it is it seems like it's doing like a Chernobyl thing, right? Because you're like test experience. It's in the Cold War era. I mean, to me, even like the picture of it, which I'm sure I'll maybe show a picture or two beyond the video. I think it looks like, okay, these are, I mean, it looks like they're test subjects, obviously, but if it's in this Chernobyl thing where like there's like mutations, like disgusting mutations, and like these freaky doctors like working on people, like stuff like that, I think it can be. I have no doubt, by the way. I mean, I just want to, I know I maybe waited too long to give my praise to the idea. I love the idea. I think I think where it's going to be set, how it's going to be, I think all that sounds absolutely amazing. And I have no doubt, by the way, that they could pull something like that off. Again, I loved the first Outlast. Outlast 2 did a lot of different things. It tried to explore a lot of different, just, I don't know, just things that you would never really have expected they would do in Outlast. Outlast 2 was basically two different horror games, I think, thrown together. I think the school sequences were by a mile the better sequences in it. I do think it was a little bit hampered by the other scenes, but I have no doubt this developer can pull this off. And again, the setting, the location, what you're going to be doing. And by the way, it makes sense if you're playing with a group of other, if you and then 3 other people are playing this game, it could be very scary. And to be honest with you, I don't really think we've gotten a game like this that has pulled something like this off. I can't really think of it. When you think of the scariest games out there, they're really all single-player games, right? And even I would throw Outlast 1, Outlast 2 into that boat, but you could throw in PT. And obviously, there's plenty of other really, really scary games. Amnesia, obviously, was like the pioneer of them all. But you only played as one person. Now, so nobody's really even tried this to my knowledge. I don't play all that many horror games. I'm a big fan of them. I love to like look into them, watch other people play them. I will play some of them, but I can't really think of any that have pulled off a cooperative experience. But let me tell you, I'll tell you this. I'll end it on a positive note again. If they pull this off, it could be revolutionary because these games are scary, these games are terrifying, and then add that in. If you can pull it off with 3 other people and make it a seamless experience where it works really, really well and it still looks just as good and everything operates well and it's still scary and you don't have to play it with 4 people, you can play with 3, you can play with 2, you can play it just by yourself. If they can pull that off, this will be, I think, honestly, like a pioneer in that aspect because, again, there's not a lot of like AAA, like they hit it out of the ballpark kind of games, horror games that can do this. So I'm excited for the potential. I'm excited for the possibility. We obviously need to see it. We've seen literally nothing on this game besides one picture. So I do want to see more about it. And hey, again, I really do think over the next couple months is going to be a really telling sign. Again, I think that it could have, I don't know, it could have released in the fall and then maybe it gets pushed back. Maybe it was never supposed to release this fall in the first place. Maybe they want to keep it in that springtime no matter what. But I do think over the next year or so, we'll probably end up playing it. And over the next half year or so, we'll end up seeing it. So we're definitely getting close no matter what. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Are you excited for this game? Did you know about it? What are your concerns about it? When do you think we'll see it? All those things, let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And I do a new video on this channel every single day. Again, if you guys want me to make videos on something specific, obviously there's not a ton of news going on, with what's going on around the world. A lot of things have slowed down. So if you guys want to see something specific from me on either channel, let me know and I'll absolutely do it. Okay, thank you again for watching and I'll see you all on the next video.